Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome again to Championship Wrestling. For the next 60 minutes, sit back, relax, and watch proceedings from our arena ring. These matches are under the sanction of the State Athletic Commission. Your referee assigned by the commission tonight is Bob Winkle. This first match, already in the ring, is scheduled for one fall, 20 minutes. One fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing first from Chicago, Illinois, at 229 pounds, Tom Jones. Tom Jones, Chicago. His opponent from Edmonton, Canada. He weighs in at 275 pounds, Canada's greatest athlete and world's heavyweight wrestling champion, Gene Kiniski.
There he is, Canada's greatest athlete. And your referee, Bob Winkle, Tom Jones of Chicago, Illinois, Kaniski's opponent in this one fall match. It's interesting to note that the matches, 15 or 20 minutes in the one fall category, when Kiniski is in that ring, seldom last more than about 11 or 12 minutes. On occasion, against a toughie, he has been known to stay in there with the man about 12 or 13 minutes. Jones is a pretty good wrestler, so we should see a lot of fine action here. There's hip block by Jones that puts Kiniski on the mat. One of the few times we've ever seen him taken back by an offensive move of an opponent. Side headlock. Someone wrote in and asked what the ring is covered by. Well, it's a canvas, referred to as a tarpaulin or a mat cover, and a very light layer of mohair padding underneath it just to keep the canvas from ripping on the 3/4 inch plywood boards which make up the ring base. Those plywood boards are supported by 2x8s and in some cases 2x4s out at the edge of the ring, for instance, where very little beating is taken. And then these posts are solid metal, 4-inch, and they are connected by cable. The cable runs through the ring ropes and then also underneath the ring. These cables come to an intersection at the center of the ring. They're pulled taut, and then the ring ropes are pulled taut up above, and that's what gives the ring its stability. And for the most part, a wrestling or a boxing ring is constructed in much the same manner. So you can see the ring is quite durable. Kiniski makes a good test out of every corner and every inch of the ring because he runs his opponents from side to side, up and down into just about every post and every rope available and accessible. So if it can hold up under a barrage of what he throws at it and what others of his size, such as Moose Cholak, who incidentally is on tonight's card, can throw at it, then you can see the ring is very capably built. These rings cost anywhere between $2,000 and $3,000. A lot of money tied up in it, and they have to be good for that price. Ooh, there's a knee right to the midsection of Jones. Puts him down. And Kiniski, who loves to use the foot, stays right on his opponent with this attack. It's entirely legal. The sole of that foot against the small of the back. And Jones, who is much the smaller, comes off the rope into a knee, and down to the mat again he goes as Kiniski steps on the head. Drags that foot right across the forehead. Takes him up and down into a body slam there. You could see that ring didn't even give a bit. Not an inch. Well, he's going to be counted off. Referee starts that disqualification count. A chop right to the top of the head. And a knee in the small of the back. Now Kanisky outside the ropes, and that count starts immediately. 2, 3, and 4. And he releases him at the count of 4. Remember, a 5 count for disqualification. As this man will resort to every inch of legality before conceding. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, he is a roughie. A chokehold as he lifts Jones off that mat. And then slices a judo chop into the side of the neck. As the referee's disqualification count reached 2. Takes him up again. And again the chop to the side of the throat. Jones, a bit of sporadic flailing of the legs there as he's back to his feet. There's a knifing right into the throat. And again, right into the side of the neck. It even hurt Kiniski's hand. And Winkle reminds Kiniski to stay off the hair. Up again in the chokehold. This time Jones got back at him. It looks as if he used an eye gouge. Comes up from the floor with a good solid right and uses a headbutt at center ring. And that has turned Kiniski back toward the ropes momentarily. There's another headbutt and down he goes. Jones stays right with him, but Kiniski, never to be outdone in that ring, again starts using those knees. A judo chop off the rope. Again off the rope. And we're seeing the beginning of the end, I believe, because Jones cannot take too much more of this. The flat of the foot into the chest. That's enough to cave in a chest of a normal man. Up he goes and down into the backbreaker. There's the man waiting to be pinned. Kiniski will not do it, though. Up again and down again. And the referee says start that count. He will not do it. Up again. Down again. Across the back. Here, I think we have the pin. 2 and 3, and that's it. This one fall match is completed. It goes to Gene Kiniski in 6 minutes, 51 seconds. And we'll have more championship wrestling coming your way in just a moment. Here's the official time. 6 minutes, 51 seconds, 6:51. Your winner from Edmonton, Canada, the world's heavyweight champion, Gene Kiniski. We'll be back with more championship wrestling in just a moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Bob Carter, Special Championship Wrestling reporter, telling you about the big card coming up at the Chicago Amphitheater, Saturday, November 2nd, 8:30 in the evening. It's going to be an exciting card. Matches are being signed for it now. And on that card, a tag team match that you've all been looking for in Chicagoland for a long time, Henning and Race against Dick the Bruiser and his cousin, the Crusher. Now, before we say any more about this card or that match, I would like to remind you, of course, where you can get your advance ticket sales for Chicago area professional wrestling at all of the Chicago area ward stores, Morris Men's Shop on South Halsted, or Ticket Central at 212 Michigan. And, of course, you can get mail orders, Post Office Box 1262, Chicago, Illinois, 06909. Now, don't forget to get your mail orders in as promptly as possible. It's 24-hour mail service as soon as your order is received. The tickets will be back in the mail back to you. And, of course, you can pick up your own tickets and select them personally by going to any Chicago area ward store, Morris Men's Shop, or Ticket Central. Now, to get back to this card, the one match that has been signed, Henning and Race against the Dick the Bruiser and his cousin, the Crusher. And I've asked one of the finest wrestlers in the business today, that is Wilbur Snyder, to come in here and tell us a little bit about this, Wilbur.
Thank you very much, Bob. I just happened to be around in the studio at this particular time. I wasn't on this card and not on the next one. But I've due to other commitments. And I would just like to explain a little bit about the reason that this match has been signed. Crusher and Bruiser against Henning and Race. I think everybody's seen the match, which would have been last night, knows how they actually literally had to carry the little midget out of that ring. And I think that it's kind of got to all the fans a little bit. And it was last night that they got a hold of the Crusher and Bob Luce. I'm talking of promoter matchmaker Bob Luce. And this match was made last night. Bruiser and Crusher consented to wrestling Henning and Race on this next card, which the date
will be November 2nd, Saturday.
Right. So that's the way this came about. And unfortunately, he hasn't had time to put any of the other matches together yet. But again, I say the way that the Henning and Race, it was kind of distasteful, in fact. And again, this is the way it came about, and this will be one of the main events on that next November card.
Well, Wilbur, thank you so much for coming in and explaining it to us, because we were at a little bit of a loss after last night, wondering exactly what had happened here. And
thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Wilbur Snyder. Now, let's get back to the action in the ring.
This match, ladies and gentlemen, is for 2 out of 3 falls with a 30-minute time limit. 2 out of 3 falls or 30 minutes. Introducing first, and they lay claimant to the title of World's Tag Team Champions. They are from parts unknown. They weigh in at 486 pounds. With their manager and advisor, Captain Willie, ladies and gentlemen, the Assassins, number 1, and number 2, the Assassin. We are still waiting momentarily for their opponents. And I heartily hope that you haven't frightened them off already.
Everybody's afraid of us. That's what it is. They're all afraid of us. Where are they? They should be here right now, Chuck. And as I was telling you before, we're the greatest. We're going to be the greatest forever. Where are they? Where are they at? Why aren't they here? Where are they? Why aren't they here? Why aren't they here right now? Where are they? That's what I mean. You see what I mean?
They're afraid of us. That's the reason. They're afraid of us.
Right,
They're afraid. I mean, they know we're going to beat them before they even get in the ring. That's the reason they don't come down. They're chicken.
They're afraid. They got to bet against somebody else.
They're like chicken.
That's for Snyder and that other guy in here.
Right.
Call to your attention that they are coming down the ramp right now. 2 out of 3 falls, 30 minutes. Their opponents, ladies and gentlemen, from Indianapolis, Indiana, and from Denver, Colorado. Their combined tag weight is 473 pounds. 473. Ladies and gentlemen, Prince Pullins and Rocky Montero.
There they are, Pullins and Montero versus the Assassins and their captain Willie. Montero wants at him right now. We should have a goodie. This should be an exceptionally exciting match because Rocky Montero has met the Assassins in the ring before, and so has Pullins. But never has Montero or Pullins teamed together. So we should have, I think, the best of the two against the tag team champions. The title is not at stake, although it's a 2 out of 3 fall match. Willie being verbally ordered back to the corner by the referee, and I have an inkling he's going to be frightened by more than words before this night's over. So it'll be Assassin number 1. Incidentally, this is an interesting thing here. As this match gets underway, I'll tell you that in all the matches I've ever seen, here we go, it'll be Pullins and the number 1 Assassin. All the matches that I've seen with the Assassins in them, there has been no time that I can remember where the bigger one, which is outside right now, talking to the little one inside the ring, where the big one has started the match. It's always been the little one that starts the match. momentarily in the referee's hold, and a slap off the rope as Willie gets back up to his feet. Number one indicating something, gesturing back over the corner. I think it was because Montero was out between the ropes and he wanted him back behind the ropes before he was going to engage in any wrestling effort at all with Prince Pullins. Pullins ducked under. Here's a rapidly improving young man. He has highs and lows in the profession itself. Some days he looks very, very good. There's a good tackle. There's a hip lock, and all of that looked good. Then there are other days when he just can't put together anything. It's like a songwriter trying to compose a song, I guess. Some days he can put the right chords together, and the next day, nothing but discord. But Montero's still outside the rope as both assassins in there momentarily on Pullins. He still comes back up to the side headlock. Look out for a push-off. A real tight one. There it is. Waits for him, turns him around, and right over into the hip mare again. On the mat. Rolled over, and the shoulders down for a count of one, but Pullins with a good flail of the legs, able to keep the count off. A vice-like side headlock. You know, it's amazing. A lot of you people, into the knee, the tag, and here's number two assassin. A lot of you people cannot believe that these wrestlers are as big as they are. For those of you who have met me, I will tell you that I weigh about 229. I'll vary between 229 and 231 or 32. And I look like a midget as far as muscles are concerned against these guys. I'm a little bit taller than maybe one or two of them. But by no means do I have the muscle or the physical definition that they have, and yet I weigh 230. So when you see these guys in the ring, and you hear me call them off at 236, 238, and 240, believe me, those extra 8 pounds they have are all good, solid muscle. And then you get up into the size of Kiniski and Bruiser, Snyder. Snyder becoming more and more athletic as the days go on. This fellow, he officially weighs in at about 243 to 245, but I do understand, Wilbur told me once, that if he doesn't watch out, if he doesn't stay really hard on physical training, a lot of football with his family and boys in the neighborhood, and he likes to play football with the youngsters in the neighborhood, teach them the rudiments that he learned. If he doesn't stay with all this, he can go up over 250 without any trouble at all. But it's pretty hard for you to imagine men that big until you, as I said, realize if you can govern by something that's maybe more familiar to you, that I weigh about 228 to 230, 231. There's a chop right to the side of the head, and another headbutt, as we've seen both Pullins and Tom Jones in the previous match use the headbutt. This is something that was made quite popular by Bobo Brazil, and just about all young Negro wrestlers coming along have used that same move. They've followed in his footsteps, and it seems to be quite effective. And I remember here's Montero trying to pull one of the assassins off. He's got the number one assassin by the side of the head, and believe me, there's nobody that can uncork a lethal right any more than Montero can. They have Pullins over that top rope, though. Just momentarily and long enough to crack that right to the midsection. Notice the gauntlets on the right arms, the right forearms of these assassins. Chop to the side of the head. And again, Pullins uses the headbutt. Notice he uses the side of his head. The side of his forehead. And Willie up again. And there's that right again from Montero. And now Pullins. Ooh, baby, look at those. 3 good solid ones now. He'll pummel the midsection with lefts and rights for a while and cross a couple up to the chin. And even one of the assassins likes to get in a blow on his own partner there. A couple of side headlocks now, and we'll have a railroad here in just a moment. Looks as if we may. A 1, a 2, and a 3, and a head on. Two diesel locomotives meeting head on, and they're both down. Montero again uncorks the right to the side of the head and threatens off on the referee now. The referee indicates to him that he's winding up at the wrong one, and if he makes such a motion as he has before, he's going to go back to the dressing room. So out he goes. Out, but good. And into the ropes. We'll tie him up here as the other one tries to pull Montero from the ring. And let's see what comes next. Lefts and rights, and this one can't move at all. Number 2 assassin back to his corner as a tackle from outside the ring by Pullins sets it up for the battering ram, and baby, don't try that one. There's about 235 pounds standing on you. Number 1 out through the ropes as number 2 has untwined himself over there. The tag. Montero not really caught napping, but you can't see him come from all directions. There's a slap to the side of the head, and he's using the gauntlet. You're boxing with the wrong man, Mr. Assassin, because this fellow used to spend a lot of his time as a pugilist in that ring. There's the tag. Pullins with a headbutt, a right to the chin, slides off the headlock, and picks it up from the front. Championship Wrestling, it's a new era, of course, a lot of new faces, a lot of new stars, and these World's Tag Team Champions, a perfect example of it, off the top rope with that right foot to the midsection, and we have a count, 2 and a 3, and that's it. And the time for this first fall, 10 minutes, 20 seconds, 10:20, goes to the Assassins over Prince Pullins and Rocky Montero. More to come, the second fall, in just a moment. The second fall going to get underway here in just a moment or two. First fall went to the Assassins over Prince Pullins. Rocky Montero now wanting to come in as this match, second fall, is underway. But this will not be allowed. Or will it? I guess so. I guess the referee is going to go ahead and let him wrestle, although Pullins is the one that's supposed to be in there. He lost the last fall. I guess the referee feels, though, that they need all the breaks on their side they can get. I don't really believe in being illegal on both sides, but that's the way this one happened to go. Now, this gauntlet on the right hand of these Assassins, I believe, has been provoking an eye injury on Montero. He had it jabbed in his face a couple of times in the first fall, and right here at the outset of the second fall, I am quite certain that that was the gauntlet that was dragged across the face. Again, yes, sir, that's it. That right gauntlet. I've examined these, and I do know that they are made out of leather. There's a bit of padding in the heel of the hand area of that gauntlet. As far as I can see, that padding is nothing more than just reinforced leather. There have been some who have claimed that it's steel. There's a steel insert or something like that. I have not seen any steel insert. I have seen a padded area, and I do believe it is pliable. From what I could examine of it, it was pliable, which steel, of course, would not be. That gauntlet again dragged across the face now of Pullins. And he's whipped through the ropes, as both Pullins and Montero now are going to spend a little time off the apron over there. It's Montero that is the legal entry in the ring, and will be up to him to get through the ropes. More championship wrestling coming your way tonight. Don't you go away. Dick the Bruiser on the card. One of the Dahle brothers. Tony Peretti. Moose Cholak. The Assassin getting a taste of what he's been dishing out as 3 fingers grinding away at the eyes and the nose of number 1 Assassin. Crossed with a right forearm there just momentarily ago, and then another drag of the fingernails and fingers across the eyes. Look at that. Well, what's done by one illegally does not make it legal for the other, and the referee is entirely within his rights to attempt to separate them. The referee cannot, if he knows what's good for him really, use any physical or any body action, any body effort at all to separate the wrestlers. The referee is protected by commission rules, which means, of course, that if he should receive any deliberate injury inside that ring, there would be suits and fines involved. This, of course, does not pertain to the wrestlers in the ring. And should the referee get some body contact in there with any one of these wrestlers, volunteered on his part, then the wrestler is quite capably allowed to defend himself, and the referee voids all this protection he has from the commission. So that's one of the reasons why they resort to the disqualification counts and why they cannot do any more than what they do a lot of times. There's a headbutt by Pullins, about the third one he's thrown at both these Assassins. A nice drop kick puts him to the mat. Let's see, we have a count of 1. That's it. It's a short right under the throat by Montero as he viciously slams the face of the Assassin to the mat. And again, Montero outside the ropes as Pullins goes for the pin. And again, the count just barely reaches 2. Over the ropes, and disqualification count commenced. Look out here, boomerang into the rope. Goes for a tag, and Montero completely out of the corner. No opportunity to complete the tag, and it's Pullins left at the mercy of the Assassin until Montero makes that rope. Down again. This has been a pretty wild match all the way. Drag right across the eyes. There's one Assassin, although he's working against 2 men in there, seems to have pretty much the go of it. There's a good right by Montero, but he has right into the top buckle. And that'll take some of the sap out of the legs for sure. Again, as this time down to the mat. A flying mare and at the mercy of that top drop off the rope. And the clincher. 1, 2, and 3, and that's it. In 2 consecutive falls, the time on that second fall, 6 minutes and 27 seconds, 6:21. The winners in 2 consecutive falls, the Assassins, with their manager, Captain Willie. More championship wrestling to come. Stick around. We'll be back in just a moment.
time limit. One fall, 45 minutes. Introducing first from St. Louis, Missouri. He is a former Hoosier. He weighs 234 pounds. Half the rapid rising, starring Dolly brothers, ladies and gentlemen, Danny Dahle. His opponent is from Reno, Nevada, 254 pounds. He is the world's most dangerous wrestler and former world's heavyweight wrestling champion, Dick the Bruiser. Dick the Bruiser.
This should be a good one. Pandemonium A1 as Dick the Bruiser, the world's most dangerous wrestler, goes right to work on Danny Dahle from St. Louis. And this action should describe itself completely. What a phenomenon he is. I mean Bruiser, of course. Not only the most unpredictable, certainly the most dangerous. And I would say one of the most outspoken wrestlers in the ring. I would put into that same category, of course, the current world's heavyweight champion, Gene Kiniski. And there are many others who could be added to this same list. As Cholak makes a fairly good attempt at telling you how good he is. The general consensus, though, is that Bruiser lives up to what he preaches, and so does Kanisky. These two are pretty much patterned alike, although I believe that there is more sentimental feeling for what Bruiser does than certainly for what Kanisky does. A couple of beefy toes right to the midsection as Bruiser again lashes Dahle back into that buckle. And again takes him down in a flying mare. And then places upon him the chin lock, which has, to my knowledge, has never received a submission from any opponent. I do remember one time, though, and I think I've mentioned this before, there was a time when I saw a hammerlock win a match. And it came so quickly after a backdrop and a heel that I very, very much doubt whether there was anything involved in that hammerlock other than just a lot of pressure put on it on an already pinched muscle or a pinched nerve, because when this fellow had been taken down on the backdrop and then picked up and beeled, by that time you could tell that he was somewhat contorted, and it was quite obvious there had been a ooh right into the buckle again. Quite obvious that there had been something pinched in his arm. And the minute that hammerlock was put on, it was more than he could stand. Well, Bruiser being counted off here again is Dahle. Face first into that buckle, hangs on for dear life. Short chop to the chin. And a few fingernails right across the front of the face as Dahle comes out of the corner. This is a good match. An excellent match as he stands right up to the world's most dangerous. Flying head scissor. And Dahle hangs on, gets a count of one. And that count of one is reversed by Bruiser, who very quickly rolls Dahle's shoulders down to the mat. The Bruiser stretching his way out of his hole. Makes the break. 254 right on you when he gets up there. A toe to the midsection. And again, that one landing just above the heart. That one right in between the rib cages. And out of the ropes, through the ropes, goes Danny Dahle. Good-looking fellow. And a heck of a fine wrestler. There's a short right. Came off those 21.5-inch arms. This man is amazing. A big he is and how well proportioned and healthy he keeps that body of his. And don't count him out very often. Head first, 2 times to the buckle. Look at this. Over the ropes, down with a body slam. And Dolly, who has been slowed down considerably, could be beaten right now as the brute goes to the ropes. The flying knee drop. 2 and 3. It's all over. The time, 4 minutes, 52 seconds. Just a moment, we'll have it official. 4 minutes, 52 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. 4 minutes, 52 seconds. Your winner from Reno, Nevada, the world's most dangerous wrestler, former world's heavyweight champion, Dick the Bruiser. We'll be back, ladies and gentlemen, with more championship wrestling in just a moment. You stick around and don't go away.
Ladies and gentlemen, we call to your attention our next match, which is in the ring. At least a portion thereof is in the ring. It is scheduled for 1 fall, 15 minutes. 1 fall, 15 minutes. Introducing this gargantuan, and a real giant he is, too, from Moosehead, Maine, at 310 pounds, the Golden Moose, Cholak. Moose Cholak. Moosehead, Maine. His opponent is from Milan, Italy, making a long absence, returning to the ring after a long absence. He weighs in at 236 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Peretti. Tony Peretti. This is 1 fall or 15 minutes.
There's Peretti. We haven't seen him for quite some time, as I indicated. Moose Cholak will be his opponent. And this could prove to be a very interesting and worthwhile match, as Cholak, who takes every match, every opponent he meets as a warm-up for the great one, he says, coming along when he's declared the champion. And he will have to meet, for champion, of course, Gene Kiniski, but it makes no difference to him. Cholak says whether it's Kiniski, the champion, whether it's Dick the Bruiser, should he ever regain the championship, etc., 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 I am going to get it. And I think he, with an attitude like that, he very possibly might. 1 fall match, and we're just about set. Here we go. There's the bell, and we're off. Peretti, much the smaller, but he's one of the wrestlers I like to refer to as the Gary Player of wrestling. He's small, but he packs a lot of dynamite, and he certainly knows how to come up with the moves and the winning combinations. There's a rollover, a front face drag, and a rollover by Cholak. There's a dive by Peretti, and we have a lot of good mat action here. A lot to start this match off. To an arm bar. And with a smaller man, the next move would be a step over. But Cholak makes the first quick step. And Peretti, underneath now, will have to find the way out. The splits. As Cholak has taken this toe hold and really applied the leverage. Connie Marker, the referee, commanded that break for pulling the trunks. Here's a push-off. Meets him right at center ring, and Peretti, who had already geared himself to fly to the ropes. Suddenly found that Cholak was not off his feet. Here we go again. There's a drop kick that backs him against the ropes. So what Peretti finds does not succeed the first time, he tries the second time with a slight variation in the drop kick. Cholak is exceptionally fast. Rolling under, diving for the legs. One of the reasons why he was an All-American in college. And another reason why he was not liked too well. Much similar to the actions of Bruiser when he wrestled or when he played football. He didn't care whether it was legal or not as long as he didn't get caught. Exchange of forearms right there in the center of the ring, and off again goes Peretti to the ropes. Has backed Cholak up slightly, but he responds quickly and comes up into the wrestling hold. Toe to the midsection. And another drag. Cholak holding the left arm of Peretti out to the side. He has the fingers extended, has not made a move to that hand as yet. As Connie watches all the action. There's a couple of good solid stomps right into the wrist. And again, it's legal. It's using the flat of the extremity, the flat of the hand, the flat of the foot. Is, boy, listen, talk about a ring giving. It sure gives when 330 goes down on it like that. And the shoulders down for a count of 1. As Peretti, with the leg lock, goes to work on the big beef. Cholak wrestles in golden boots, a sort of golden wrestling combination, black trunks, gold vest, and gold tights. And has made quite a bit of money off the identification as the Golden Moose. A bear hug on Peretti as he puts Tony back into the ropes right in front of us, and then uncorks a solid right to the stomach. Peretti fights off the rope. Meets him at center ring with a knee lift. And to the neutral corner. Marker allows him back to his feet. Connie's not too big. And if he doesn't stay out of the way, he could get in a lot of trouble in that ring. Into an arm bar. As the Moose shows some good wrestling tactics and knowledge. Arm bar and wrist lock. There's a chop off the ropes by Peretti. Another forearm smash puts the Moose down on his knees. Peretti moving in. There's a pretty good indication of how big that guy is. Boy, he's a monster. Head first. Your big wrestlers of today, big not only in stature but big in name, use their feet a great deal. There's a judo chop by Cholak, as this match, which many thought would not last this long, has stayed on a pretty even keel so far. Armbar by Peretti, and he takes him down with it. Peretti really twisting it back. And again. Cholak back to his feet. Face first into that top rope. Takes him out again as Peretti goes out of the ropes, this time right past us, and is laying off the apron. There's the big one from Moosehead, Maine. Now you can see how much he overshadows the size of the referee. Down again goes Peretti, and Marker really walks him back. He says, "You let him in the ring or I'm going to count you out." Count has reached 6, 7. Only 2-7 as Peretti tries to bull his way back in with a tackle, makes it, steps through the ropes. And now Cholak wants to think it over. Couple of quick lightning jabs there by Cholak. Ducking under with a real fine move. Peretti comes up, pops a couple of good rights to the top of the head, and remember now, Cholak wearing these ear guards, and Peretti is slapping that right hand in there about as solid as any I've ever seen. Ooh, into the knee. And speaking of the ear guard, he used it there. The big splash, and down he goes. 1, 2, 3. It's all over. This match, 5 minutes and 21 seconds. 5:21. Your winner.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Bob Carter, Special Championship Wrestling reporter. A little earlier in the program, we had an opportunity to talk with Wilbur Snyder about the rather startling announcement that one match has already been signed for the next big professional wrestling show at the Chicago Amphitheater. It won't be until Saturday night, November 2nd, but that match that has been signed already was signed last night following the rather startling conclusion of last night's show. And promoter, matchmaker Bob Luce has been able to sign Henning and Race against Dick the Bruiser and his cousin, the Crusher. Now, this will be a main event bout, I'm sure. There are no other details as far as other matches on the card, but look forward to Saturday night, November 2nd, because after what happened last night, I'm sure that the fans were there are going to be very happy to see Dick the Bruiser and his cousin, the Crusher, in the ring against Henning and Race. Now, for you fans in the Hammond area, coming up Saturday night, October 5th. That's a little bit less time away than November 2nd. Saturday night, October 5th, at the Hammond Civic Center, a really fine, outstanding professional wrestling, championship wrestling show. Blackjack Lanza against Moose Cholak, Mitsu Arakawa and Dr. Karate Moto against Wilbur Snyder and Paul Christie. Angelo Poffo against Capel, Man against the Assassin. It's a card that I'm sure that all of you in the Hammond area are going to be very excited to see. You can get your advance tickets at Jack West's Lounge, and I would suggest that you get in and get those tickets right away for Saturday night, October 5th, at the Hammond Civic Center, when Lanza will be meeting Cholak, the Japs against Snyder and Christie in a big double main event card. And don't forget, in the future, Saturday, November 2nd, Henning and Race against the Bruiser and Crusher at the Chicago Amphitheater. We're about out of time now. Thanks a lot for watching. This has been Championship Wrestling. Bob Carter here. We hope that you enjoy good professional wrestling, and we'll see you again next time. Until then, so long for now.